The following podcast is a Lady K Enterprises production.
Lady K.
Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Lady K Chat, a podcast that is designed for all women to become better versions of themselves, which is broadcast every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Various subjects will be speaked upon, such as relationships, personal development, health and wellness, wealth building, children, and so much more. She is a two-time Amazon best-selling author, an international speaker, and life coach. She is Kalima, aka Lady K. And now for your host, Lady K.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in into the series of 2020 election. And today's show is called Leadership. And I'm so excited right now because the guest that I have invited on today, he has such an extensive background in leadership. He received so many accolades over the years, and I even had the pleasure of working with him and to serve under his leadership. And I would like everyone to please help me, former President Thomas Jones of the Monroe County NAACP. Welcome, Tom. How are you?
Fine, Kalima. Thank you. I'm good, and thank you for having me on this morning. I'm glad to be here with you.
Thank you, Tom. I really thank you accepting the invitation. Now, Tom, I got a question for you. Should I call you Tom or should I call you Mr. Jones?
Nah, you call me Tom. First name Tom. I rather Tom. Mr. Jones is too informal.
Thank you, Tom. I had to do that. I like to joke around sometimes, and even
no problem.
Even within everything is so serious. We have to laugh sometimes because it's crazy right now. And as we know, Tom, we know a lot of people are questioning the judgment of our leadership. So this topic is so perfect today. And I first want to start off, Tom, asking you, what does leadership look like to you?
Well, it definitely doesn't look like what it looks like today.
Whew.
That's not leadership. Leadership is someone that's willing to work with people, work with their ideas as well as their ideas that they want to implement, standing side by side with them and basically almost really paying attention to their needs and trying to make sure whatever their needs are, that they're able to lead them and give them that information that's going to make them better, that's going to make the communities better. And that's what leadership is all about. If you can't make people better around you and you can't lead them to be better, then you're not a leader.
Absolutely. And people don't know there's a difference between a leader and someone who just a dictator or someone who just goes off a title because, the title makes them that leader.
Absolutely, because you have people that have their own agendas. Some just want the title and not do the work. Right. Some just think that once they get that title, they have a power trip with saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and not listen around them or not listen to the people around them, especially if those people are experienced in certain areas that we need to service the people in the community. And if you don't listen to those people, then what good is your leadership? Because that's not showing anything to those people who are wanting a service that you're supposed to be providing for them. And if you don't provide them for them, how do you expect those people to support you? And Absolutely. Support is very important, that the leader has that coming from the people that he's leading. And if you don't have that support, what good is your leadership? That means your leadership is null and void because it's not making a difference.
Absolutely. And Tom, I want to piggyback because just listening off to you. Another thing that popped into my mind about leadership is that you want to be an example. Are you being an example, and are you doing what you say and saying what you're doing? Because part of being a leadership is having your integrity intact. Would you agree?
Oh, yes, you have to be serious, about whatever you're delivering to the people, whatever you're motivating them to become or to implement or to follow you doing. If you don't have those qualities, then it doesn't make any difference. But I feel that whatever message that leader has to be for everyone, has to be about bringing people together, have to be about having compassion for one another and standing together, and regardless of the negativity that's around them, because you're going to have that as a leader, that you're able to stand tall and stand strong and say, these are my principles, because these are everybody else's principles, and we all are standing together for it. If you don't have that, then the leadership is. I think I've tried to put that out there, basically, being a leader, that this is what we need to concentrate on. This is what we need to do together. We need to stand together, and we have to work together. But, you're going to have those people who are not agreeing with what you're doing because they may have a different agenda, which makes it kind of hard for the leader. But everybody takes their point from the leader.
Absolutely. You hit it right on point. And also too, Tom, I also do know that there are different levels to leadership. And I understand, at this time, because I'm focused around the 2020 election, for the people, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that feels this way. It's like at this point, you're trying, like you said, the hidden agendas. It's like, how would you know when that person is going to the voting booth? Like, is this person really on track like they said? How would they know how they can, actually highlight a great leader at that ballot? How would they know? What insight, what points would you give them so they can feel confident in their choices that they're about to make?
Well, see, what people need to do right now, people need to pay attention, pay attention to who's in the running. Do research on that person. See what their values are. See the message that they are sending to everyone. What type of message is it? Is it a type of message for unity, for all people, and not just a select class of people? That's what people need to be able to look at. That everyone talks about healthcare, talks about Social Security, talks about education, and these are the things that are essential, but you have to see what everyone really, really wants, whether it's jobs, whether it's healthcare. You have to understand what the people want in order for you to turn around and say, this is what I'm going after. But if the people don't do the research, if they don't find out what these people who are running are about and what their background is, that could be dangerous when they go to the polls and make that vote, because they're saying, well, maybe I should vote for this one. If you're saying maybe you should vote for him, then you shouldn't pull that level, because you aren't educated on the people who are going to be supposedly serving you for the next 4 years. Now, I think that happened in 2016. People were either just tired, or people said, well, I don't like who's running and I'm not going to go, which we found out there were so many votes that were lost because of the negative attitudes of people saying, it's not Obama again, so I'm not going to vote.
Right. And Tom, hold that thought, because you hit something really valid. But we're going to take a short break, everyone. And after we come back, we're going to tackle back, the encouragement to vote. One moment. Thank you. We'll be right back shortly.
Lady K Enterprises are now licensed in the state of Pennsylvania and New York to help you with your insurance needs, from auto, homeowner, life insurance, and home security. For additional information, please text the word insurance to 844-446-5374. Again, for additional information, please text the word insurance to 844-446-5374.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I'm right here with Mr. Thomas Jones, and him and I are talking about leadership and what does leadership look like to you and the qualities of a leader. And we was talking about the last presidential election and how people just gave up on hope. And now that the 2020 is here, Tom, we're I don't even know where to touch base on. Where can we touch base on how to give people the enthusiastic or the encouragement to vote for this 2020 election?
Well, I think it's very easy. It's no secret to people that the leadership that we have today has gone far, far left. It's not in the middle. I don't think it's definitely not in the right, because this leadership has definitely dictated that wrong is now the new right.
You're right
And
about
that's
that.
ridiculous. Okay. Wrong is not the new right, and wrong can never be right. And if we have any type of values, okay, then we know what we're looking at today is wrong. And that should be enough to get people pumped up and say, you know what? I can't deal with this any longer. You know, I can't deal with someone that has no class, that can't speak to us in the matter of professionalism, in the matter of showing that he's a leadership, that he's in leadership. Now, I will say that everybody's not going to like the person who I like or that you like,
Right.
for whatever reason. And what makes it so bad, it's for a lot of reasons. It could be because he's not married. It could be because he's his religion beliefs. It could be because the color of his skin. Right. There's too many variables where people are saying, well, this is the reason why I'm not going to vote for him. But you need to understand that when you vote, you not only should be voting for yourself, but you should be voting for your children and your children's children, because that's where it's going to take effect down the road. So we need to not only think about ourselves, we need to think about our children's and our children's children. Do we want them to go through the same rhetoric that we've been going through? That should be enough to motivate people to say, I want change, because I want to leave something for my children so they don't do the struggle that I did when I was coming up. That should be motivation enough. But we need to really find out who is going to represent us and not take it from somebody else's word.
And you know what, Tom, you saying that we have to do the research, and I hear this too, and I have the same question, that sometimes people say, well, where do I start off by researching this fool, or this person who said that they care about me, they care about my life, they care about my health insurance, and they care about my kids. It's like, where do we really go to start to dig for you? Because, there's so many websites, that's fake. And then you see when people are running, you see that they would throw shade against one another. They'll talk dirt about the candidate. And it's like, it's so hard. So it's like, I think we just really need that. Like, if we had like a credible source that we can go to and say, okay, this is what that person's about. Can you recommend something to help the people that they know they're using a credible source to make sure that, this person that they are electing is the person fit for this country?
Well, and that's a real good question, because your credible source, we have to understand that there's a lot of us who are, how can I say, internet savvy. And then there are a lot of us, especially the older ones, that aren't internet savvy. So how do we get the message to them? And see, the thing is, how we get the message to those individuals, which are much older individuals, we have to rely on the community organizations that are out there. We have to rely on the Democratic Party going from door to door, knocking on people's doors, saying, hey, look, did you know that this person is running for office? We want you to vote for him, and this is the reason why. Believe it or not, that's what it has to do. We need foot soldiers. We need foot soldiers out there to those who aren't internet savvy to go and explain to these people are running in your best interest. Now, those who are internet savvy, we need to be able to get busy, because we know how to go to a browser. We know how to put in someone's name and look this person up and see what the person is representing, because everything is online today. I just had an interview with one of the ladies saying that the absentee ballot is not just for people who are absent anymore. It's for everybody. Right. So if I want to now file to vote, I put in my registration online. They'll send it to me, and they'll send me the voting package, and I'll send it back with my votes. So they've made it real easy in the state of Pennsylvania, anyway, for people to be able to make that transition. But as far as researching, everybody, we need to do our due diligence, especially this election. Foot soldiers, as well as being internet savvy. But we need to help each other get to that point.
Absolutely. I love how you said foot soldiers, but you know what? It's a shame. It's like, are people even willing? And then at the same time, too, I can understand some people might think, well, you know what? I'm kind of putting myself on the hot seat, and some people don't want to do that, which is the sad part. But then, like you said, it shows, well, what are you really here for? Do you really stand for, the community? Do you really want to get out the word? But I love that foot soldier.
But see, that's it. We have to be foot soldiers, and that's not only with whatever party that you're in. That's for these organizations that are out there that are preaching that we all need to come together and we need to stand together, what have you. We have to have foot soldiers that's out there that's sending the message that says, hey, this is what we're about, and you should be part of it because it's on the positive. And not only will that happen, it can change your life, change your children's life. We need those foot soldiers. If nobody wants to be a foot soldier, then how do you expect things to change? How do you expect to get the message out there? You have this podcast, which you're getting the message out in your own way, letting people know, hey, you need to pay attention to this because we have something to say that's going to be beneficial to you and your household and your community. The same way I try to do every Tuesday with our community and you, to bring the message to people that these are the people that are making a difference in your community, and we need you to be able to reach out to them for whatever type of resources that they're providing for a better tomorrow. But if you don't have foot soldiers, that's going to be out there, and they just want to sit in the chair and say, well, we at this organization, we'll wait for people to come through the door. You're killing the organization as well as you're killing your mission.
Absolutely. I agree with you 110%, Tom. Everything you said, that was right on key. And that foot soldier, when you said that to me, you know what populated in my head? And this has been around for as long as, probably longer than you, but they always said word of mouth is the best advertisement. It doesn't matter that today is the new wave of the internet, but when you can get that word of mouth, especially when you can get that one-on-one, I think that matters too. So many of us, we go on and we do the internet thing. Yeah, that's great. But when you go actually out and gain the experience, I think that's what people need. People actually need to go out and gain the experience. Now, I know this for a fact. I know that when some presidents do their candidature raids, they tours and they go like to different cities, a lot of people do not go out and they do not go, they'll hear the speech on TV, but I think sometimes you got to feel the energy. Like you said, you gotta go out. So it would be great if you go out into what they're saying and you're physically present and you can say, you know what? Is this person for us or not? And then that's just me. That's just my thought. But I just think that is one way.
No, and you're absolutely right. And see, that's where, I always say we have to service the community. But how we do it is we have to understand that the community represents a lot of things. So you may want to, I built a relationship with the church. You may want to build a relationship with the schools. You may want to build a relationship with other organizations. You may want to service the community with a healthcare program, with a criminal justice program, with a mental health program,
right?
Something for the youth. All these things, when you represent or you put these things out to service the community, now everybody is saying, wow, look at Kalima Green. She's having this, she's having that, she's having this, she's having a wine tasting thing. See, because everybody's not going to go to everything. Right. But if you can produce all these different programs and events and workshops, people are going to come out to that because this is what they choose. And when you get them there, you can send your message. This is what we're all about, and we'd like for you to join us because we want to have more of these events in these specific areas, because now you're reaching out to the community in different areas where people will say, well, I'm going to go to the wine tasting, but I'm not going to go to the praise festival because that's just not their thing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But then now you're going to have different walks of life that do different things, that like different things, that's going to be drawn to your organization because they're going to say, wow, that's attractive. Wow, they're doing that. Wow, they care about us on this end. And that's what it's all about. How much do you really care about the residents in your community? How much do you really care about the growth? I can't be one-dimensional. I have to be able to reach out to everyone. And that's what a leader does.
Right. Well, Tom, I had the pleasure of this. This was awesome. This is amazing. I hope the people that are listening, I hope they took this information to the head. And it was very vital and very informative. But, we're going to end, ladies and gentlemen. But please tune in for our part 2. Again, Thomas Jones, I thank you for coming on. And if the people want to reach out to you, how can they follow you?
Well, right now, they could follow me on my Facebook page, which is Our Community and You with Tom Jones. And that's a radio broadcast that's live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Again, go to the Facebook page, Our Community and You with Tom Jones. Like the page. We have guests. Matter of fact, we're having you, Kalima, on this coming Tuesday because we know you have a lot going on. And we're going to let everybody know this is what you have going on and this is what you're providing for the community on a positive note. So if you want to send me an email, because we'll put your event and programs that's up and coming out there to the community, you can email us at ourcommunityandyou@gmail.com. Again, ourcommunityandyou@gmail.com. And Kalima, thank you once again for having me.
You're welcome, Tom. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and continue to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Lady K Chat. And you can also reach me on my website at www.ladykenterprises.com. INC. And thank you. And you guys have a wonderful night.
Lady K.